Welcome to the course. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna start by adding a camera. Go to your render setting and make sure that the film aspect is actually HD TV. Now the next thing is to actually go ahead and add the camera calibrator tag. So Cinema 4D tags, right click Cinema 4D tags and camera calibrator. You can go ahead and see through this camera. Now the first thing you need to do is actually define the image that you want to calibrate your Cinema 4D camera to. So let's go ahead, and I have provided you with this image here. So let's double click on this. And now as you can see, as soon as you open it here, it will pop up in your viewport and you can see it here. Now you have some options here like image scale, like the ability to offset your image, like changing and adjusting the brightness. So really simple stuff here. And the main important and the most important tab here is the calibrate. Now here you need to define different lines, and the ultimate goal here is to turn all of these red boxes to green. And the way you do it is by adding different lines and specifying the axis of these lines. For example, we say we create a line here and we say this line is our axis, our x-axis, and we add a few more lines at the same parallel with this line, and this way our the Cinema 4D knows that this is the x-axis. Then we, for example, define the z-axis, for example, along this lines here, for example here, and that will be defined as our z-axis. Now we can define the y-axis, and this way the Cinema 4D would be able to actually recreate the camera that was used to shot this scene. So let's go ahead and do that. There are two methods basically. You can add lines and do that based on line, or add a grid and define and work on two axes at the same time. But I think using the line is much more convenient, so we're going to hit on here, add line. Now as you can see, there is a line, and if you click on this end point, you can basically move where exactly you want those lines to be. Okay, and as you can see, as soon as you click on one of those points, there's this magnifier that helps you see the lines better. And just to let's see, I'm gonna put this guy here and this one here maybe. Let's see what we can do. I'm just going to okay. Now as you can see, in order to define the line and kind of constrain it to a certain axis, you have to shift click on it. So when you shift click on it, as you can see, shift click once it turns red, twice it turns green for Y, the third time it turns blue for Z axis. So now we're gonna this is certainly X axis, so it should be red. Now we can click on add line again, and now we can go ahead and let's try to spread your lines throughout your scene as much as possible, and I think that will help to kind of make Cinema 4D be able to define those lines a bit easier. Again, shift click on it, and maybe we can use these pictures up here. Now you can click on add line, or if you just control drag one of your lines, it will basically do the same thing for you. Let's go ahead and maybe we can use this picture here and see if we can sort of define those. Now as you can see, our x-axis has been solved perfectly, and this value here, you can see our first red box has turned green and the value says 001. So this is sort of a threshold, the lower the better. And let's go ahead and define our z-axis. So I'm gonna add line here, and let's go ahead. I'm going to use this corner here and hopefully try, as you can see, it's sort of hard to see where exactly it is. I'm going to my settings and change this magnifier zoom value to something like maybe 800%, so you can see it a bit easier. You can see it really helps. So I'm just trying to, there we go. Now, okay, now shift click on it a few times till it turns blue basically. And let's go ahead, select the calibrate tag, add line. And let's, this time I'm gonna use maybe here is very nice and contrasty area. And we can really nicely use it. I'm just trying to be as accurate as possible down here too. There we go. Shift click on it a few times. And let's again add another line. And I think we can even use this center line here. Let's click on this point. And I think we can just go ahead and click maybe here, see. Okay, shift click. And as you can see, the Z vanishing point has solved. Now the next thing is trying to actually solve the y-axis. It has been solved, but I like to actually add the line myself and try to do it this way. So I'm gonna start by possibly maybe this part here. And see how accurate we can define these points. And let's see. I'm really trying to get that exact corner, and it's really not that easy. You just have to get as close as possible. So this is our first line. Let's add another line, and for this one we possibly can go to this corner down here and see what we can do. I'm just, it's not really exact science, you have to try. And now we need the third line for our y axis. I'm possibly going to use this corner here. And try to notice here, as you change these parameters, these lines, the focal length of your camera basically changes. So this is important also. Let's go ahead and see. Let's see how accurate it's going to be. No, it's not that accurate really. And see where the problem is. See the y-axis. It is really hard. It is, you have to get those exactly so the points are kinda. Okay, let's see. Now it's not too bad. It's it could be better, but I think we can stay with what we have right now. Okay, now it's time to define the actually world center. And in order to do that, you just click on Add Pin, and there is this orange circle here that snaps to this point. So I think here could be a very good point actually to be our world center. Now you can click on this line actually, and there is this noun length. You can define the length, and it really helps to scale your scene. So I think something like this would be about 35-40 centimeters. And let's see. I think we are pretty good, generally speaking. I might try to adjust these lines here on Y a bit to get them more accurate. Hopefully it might get worse, but you know, we should try and make this stuff better and see. Let's go ahead and try to. No, this is definitely not as accurate as it should be. I'm really trying to get it right. There we go. So we are basically, haven't changed that much. See if we can change these points here. And try to see what's gonna happen there. And let's see what we can do here. So I'm just trying to get this values really as accurate as possible and see how we can do that. Yeah, looks like it's not too bad right now, and we have defined our 0 point, as accurate as possible. There are some lens distortion going on here, so it's not going to be exactly accurate. But if you create a cube, for example, and if you just select this camera calibration tag and maybe come in here, and as you can see now your cube is sort of, you turn it off, scale it down a bit, and you move it, you can see it sort of kind of matches with your scene here, and you can move it in different places and get a sense of what's going on. So that is great. In the next lesson, we're going to start actually remodel our scene and see how we can sort of recreate and reconstruct what we have in our scene, the sofa, the radiators, the walls, the floor, so we can actually prepare ourselves to do the dynamic simulation. So see you in the next lesson.